Well, first of all, I really can't thank you enough for joining us here today to talk about, something that I think so many of us take for granted, not only here in Sioux Falls, not only here in South Dakota, but probably all across our great country, and that are these natural resources, the air that we breathe, and yes, the water that we drink. We are so blessed in the city of Sioux Falls to have a body of water that goes right through our town, right through the heart of our downtown. It is our number one source of drinking water. And yes, it's such a critical component when it comes to economic development and so much more. The reason we wanted to bring you here for one final time as I'm your mayor, is that I did want to talk about just how important it is that we stay the leader when it comes to talking about water quality of the Big Sioux River, water quality of these lakes and these streams all across our great state. And I hope that we continue this in the years and generations to come. I also am hopeful that some of the things that we've implemented over the years, I hope that Mayor-elect Tenhaken, I hope he keeps them going. And he's gonna get a lot of pressure not to keep it going. But I'll be there cheering him on if he does. And one of those things includes these no-mow zones that we've created, these buffer strips, these filter strips, all along the Big Sioux River over the years, as well as some other drainage areas throughout our great city. And folks, I know that sometimes, it may look nicer if it's all mowed, and yeah, maybe I can walk my dog or play catch with my son or daughter if it was mowed. But I'm going to take you back. We do need this water. We don't want it to be impaired like it certainly is right now. And we can make a difference right here in Sioux Falls. And so we are going to keep talking about filter strips and buffer strips and no-mow zones, as well as we want to talk about some of the things that we're doing to try to help educate the people that live here and the people that play here in terms of the importance of why we're doing this. And then one final message is that, folks, us city slickers, we can keep talking about water quality, and we can keep blaming those farmers and ranchers and small towns all day long. But I tell you, we should look at ourselves first. The city slickers, the big cities, the big towns, because we have just as much to do to improve these water quality issues that we have, and pay attention to water as much as they do. So again, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. And I think I'm turning it over to Kelby. All right, buddy. Go get him, Kelby.
Hi, Kelby Maris with Parks and Recreation. As the mayor said, we've got these no-mow zones along the Big Sioux River. And a lot of people over the years have thought that what that means for us is that we just quit maintaining the area and it just doesn't look as nice. Well, that's really not the case. A lot of people do like the look of the no-mow zones, and they are still actively maintained. They're just not actively mowed. It still does take some effort to make sure that they're weed free, that we are doing what we can to make life easier for the beneficial plants in these areas. Yeah. And in doing that, there is some maintenance, and you may have noticed that some of the no-mow areas were actually mowed this spring in that effort to continue to maintain the no-mow areas. So the longer they go, the better they look, the better that the desirable plants fare. And so we're on a good path. They're getting better and stronger, and we'll be here to help protect our river.
Thank you, Kelly. Andy?
Hi, Andy Berg, Public Works. Another big part of the no-mow buffer zones is the environmental impacts that they prevent. The less mowing we can do as a city reduces our carbon footprint. It reduces the amount of gas engines that are running out in those areas every day. reduces the chances of spills that we could have from that activity. The buffer itself, those taller grasses, slow down the water. As the water, as it flows behind us into the river, it slows that water down so there isn't as much erosion of the soil, which adds silt and sediment to the river, which is one of the things it's impaired for. So slowing that flow down, catching that garbage before it gets into the river so that our park staff can pick it up and dispose of it properly are all things that those grasses help with. As Kelby said, as we get the grasses stronger, they choke out the weeds, and those grasses also will start to push their roots down a little deeper. That promotes infiltration so that that ground will soak up water rather than the water getting to the river as well. So we see a lot of benefits environmentally as well when we implement these buffer strips. We also have some native grass planting areas as well around town that are doing the same type of thing. So every bit counts. We'll look to expand this in the appropriate areas and hope that, as the mayor said, that the new administration will continue these efforts as we go forward.